Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about Calijah Kancey, number 94 right here. Folks, this guy is up next. I think it's going to be pretty soon. He's going to be establishing himself as one of the best defensive tackles in the National Football League. Not the biggest dude, but he is unbelievably strong. He is also super quick. And I thought this stat was interesting. And we're going to run through a bunch of it. We're also going to talk about Yaya Diaby towards the end of this video because the whole issue with Tampa Bay's defense last season, or honestly, the whole issues with Tampa Bay last year and why they didn't go farther than they did is because of defensive health. And a lot of it was more so just the whole season with the defensive backroom like Antoine Winfield. Most sacks last season with less than 13 games played. Calijah Kancey was tied for 2 on that list at 7.5. He joined Aiden Hutchinson at 7.5. Max Crosby at 7.5, and Dexter Lawrence. Now, like I said, we're going to run through a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to show you this strip sack fumble because, truly when he's healthy, he's already one of the best in the business. It's not always showing up on the stat sheet, but last year in his sophomore campaign, it started to. Guys, we got another clip here from the New York Giants game last season, and, we go back 2 years ago, and I know he's been dealing with reoccurring calf injuries, and I'll let it play out before we even break it down. I mean, he just booms them absolutely early on, or what is this, kind of halfway early on? Yeah, midway through the season against the New York Giants here. We got a blitzer from the nickel, but I love this stat. He posted an official 40-yard dash at the combine of 4.67, which is the fastest of any defensive tackle in NFL history, in the last 20 years in NFL history. 0.1 second than fellow Pittsburgh Panther in Aaron Donald. I don't need to tell Bucs fans this. He's strong and he's unbelievably quick, but I really do think he's about to become at least a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL, which, unless you're a Bucs fan, sounds probably absurd, but we'll keep breaking it down. Now, here we go. We're lining up here on this right side, and he's got phenomenal hands, and that's a big reason why he's about to become one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. And the whole, Buccaneers, can't speak, it's late here, 9:30 in Tampa. The whole Buccaneers defense gets to him. You see Yaya, we're going to talk about him in just 1 second here. But Calijah is the one who's going to bring him down. And it's really not rocket science. His PFF grade, all of the advanced statistics, they'll all tell you the same thing. You also don't see, especially in less than 13 games, you don't see defensive tackles ever get 7.5 sacks in one season. He's on his way to greatness. So I must preface this clip saying it is 2 years old. This is from his rookie campaign that was also shortened because of a calf injury, but we see number 94 right here. Who is this? I love drawing on these damn screens. Who's this guy right here? It's right tackle Penei Sewell, a.k.a. one of the best in the business. Now, let me give you a little bit of reference for when this football game is, because once again, they do Buccaneers defense does a good job of stopping this run. This is Calijah Kancey's first ever NFL game. And he's going up against Sewell, and he sheds him immediately. Stack and shed, baby. So it was clear as day when he came out of college, to be honest with you, but whenever he's healthy and he's on the field, he's disrupting plays. All right, here we go. Around Christmas against Dallas, you're going to see him pick up the sack, just bulldoze, absolutely bulldoze the right guard there. And once again, the whole Buccaneers defense doing a really good job, this defensive line of putting pressure on the QB. Situationally, he only played 12 games last season. Situationally, it's 2nd and 9. They're on, the 34-yard line. There's 18 seconds left in this half, all right? So he's bulldozing them. We got Yaya, who we're going to get to in just 1 second, at the top of your screen, and he is one of these guys where the stat sheet does not do him justice, but you see the pure strength and also the speed on display, just going up and bulldozing that right guard here. So we'll show you one more Calijah Kancey clip before we get into Yaya Diaby. All right, I apologize in advance for even showing you a clip from the game. But here we go. It's 2nd and goal. It's early 4th quarter, a couple of seconds into it. It's 17-13 Tampa's way. And, like I said, it's 2nd and goal, and you're going to see Calijah with a beautiful swim move get this tackle for loss here. He had 17 total quarterback hits as well last season. And only those 12 games that we keep mentioning. But him, Vita Vea, you got Yaya, It's one of the most slept-on defensive lines, truly, in the National Football League. And like I keep reiterating, and as you guys already know, if you're a Bucs fan, this issue with this team last season was the secondary, and that, at least in my opinion, ultimately came down to just lack of health. All right, guys, like I said, we're talking about Yaya here. I'm going to show you two clips. We're looking at the left side of the scrimmage here. Quarterback pressures, he had 26 in his rookie campaign, and actually, before I ramble on, we'll just show it to you. Great job of sticking with this, and then actually bats the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands here. His quarterback pressures went from 26 in his rookie season, where he wasn't even a full-time starter, to 57 last year. He had 57 quarterback pressures, which was top 20 in the National Football League. His sacks, however, they dropped from his rookie year down to 4.5. But we're going to show you, it's just honestly kind of a case of bad luck here. So you're really a handful of plays, a handful of bad luck. And I know it's all just hearsay, but we're all going to see it on display this upcoming weekend. You're going to see it on display for 17 full games here. Him and Calijah, absolute defensive line, especially with Vita Vea there. You're a couple of plays away from having 10 sacks. I mean, you truly are. And so we'll end it in one more. But, I've been talking about Yaya. I've also really been big on Servassier Dennis. He just can't stay healthy. That's really been just the whole issue with this Buccaneers team is these boys have not been able to stay healthy. But if they can this year with Baker Mayfield, especially Miko Buka, and then obviously Bucky Irving just ascending already. I just did a couple of fantasy football drafts, and he was going in the second round in every single one. You get a top 5 offense. Maybe it's a little bit biased, but you get at least a top 10 offense this upcoming season. And this defense, that secondary cleans things up as far as just health goes. You're looking at probably a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. And from there, the sky's truly the limit. All right, guys, we'll end it up here. Getting nice and late here. Before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys haven't already. If we could try and get this video to 100 likes, folks, it goes an extremely long way. So thank you for keeping with it. Let me know if you like this style of content. I keep talking about Yaya, having 4.5 sacks last season. And he's really just truly a handful of plays away from being a 10-sack guy here. So you're going up against the right tackle here, and he just powers them and then gets inside and just barely, and then you're obviously playing Jaden Daniels here, so that doesn't make it any easier, but, he wins this rep, and Jaden's able to just maneuver out of it with his feet, but, this is the stuff we're talking about. Bucs fans are on this, Bucs beat writers, Bucs YouTubers, whatever, the Bucs social media, people understand it, right? And the rest of the NFL, the same thing kind of goes with Calijah. They're just not in tune with these players on this Buccaneers defense, so truly, I know I've said it 30 times in tonight's video, but if this team can just stay healthy, good things are going to happen, right? Just to keep it plain. So thank you folks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Give me your thoughts on Calijah Kancey and Yaya Diaby, and maybe give me a loose win-loss projection for Tampa this upcoming season. Peace.